I'm sorry, and your intention is now to take with the Empowering Minds and put it out into a public foundation, is that?
Yes.
So that there's more.
Yes, I'm incorporating a separate business essentially for not-for-profit registered charity number. So in the beginning, and I was operating Empowering Minds inside my private foundation as we grassroots the project. So I am right now in the stages of incorporating it as a public foundation. So setting up its members and its bylaws and its board.
And then to expand the program to reach more students, does that mean that you'll have to incorporate like another individual in the CBE school system? I mean, what's the constraints on being able to spread the program?
Growth definitely means more people
And so you
to make it happen.
Okay, so that would include more staff and things in the actual school system that are running the program?
Well, that's the other part, is the trainers are not educators. So the educators that we have in the school system is more of the organizational support, and we have follow-up. We have a pre-program and a follow-up program that we also offer in the school. So when the students go through our intensive 2.5-day off-site program called Team Leadership Breakthrough, 6 to 8 weeks later, we go into the schools and do a follow-up program. And we're actually expanding that program, working with the CBE to bring in some of those career and life management skills into it. We call it Legacy. So that is where we have a trained teacher with quality control delivering that. And so for all intents and purposes, we actually oversee and manage that teacher, but we chose not to second her because she doesn't have as much flexibility, we'll call it.
Okay.
Can you describe some of the methods that you use in the leadership program? The educational methods?
What are some of the processes we use? So they're experiential, and the program, the Team Leadership Breakthrough Program, is a series of processes that build on each other. I did not build the program myself. We discovered it. It was built by a psychologist and her military husband over 28 years ago in the United States. And it's a series of processes that create aha moments that build on each other throughout a 48-hour period. And the delivery of the actual program is not traditional. The trainers take about a year to be trained, and they deliver the program in what may appear to be quite a military way, but it's more just the projection of their voices through diaphragmatic breathing training that they take. So the students, I would say, aren't in a great comfort zone because of that. They wouldn't dare look at their Blackberries. Have I answered your question?
Yes.
Okay.
So over the course of the next 5 years, how many teams do you think will be trained through this, or would like to see trained through this over the next 5 years? So you've done 3,000 approach so far.
Mm-hmm. And we're in 1 month from today, it'll be 5 years exactly that we put our first class through. And this year alone, we will have 792 students go through Team Leadership Breakthrough, so it'll be the most at any one time. And we hope to be able to increase that, and that is also the development of the trainers is key to that as well. So we have a trainer development program right now. We have trainers from the United States that fly here and do those processes and work hands-on. We have 2 educators that are actually going to get trained, but they don't go back to their school and deliver it in their school. Very quality controlled. So my goal is to be able to increase that by 25% every year. The amount of classes that we put through. And it's not exclusive to Calgary. Red Deer high schools, both high schools are involved.
Has there been any thought to expand into British Columbia where I'm from?
Yes, we have a class once a year. I call it my open public class, even though it's all for public, but it's because we work with school specific and we have quite an organized model. But we hold one big class every year, open to the public, and I've had kids, they come from Toronto, all through Vancouver area, and participate in the class, and then they go back and of course they want to do it there, and I need a champion there. We need champions there to help organize it, get the schools involved, and I find that once you get the educators involved themselves and the principals and superintendents, you're scrambling to keep up with them. Have I answered your question? Okay. Hi.
Two questions. One, how do you choose the schools? And then secondly, how have you chosen to divide up your time and money between this particular program and the other 3 programs that you support?
Okay, so the first question, the schools, so interesting story from the very beginning. Every time I turned around, there was somebody coming to meet with me that had, Foundations for the Future was our first school, and so some people had been exposed to that, the culture that had been tremendously impacted at that school, and so they were coming to meet me and they were just opening doors left, right, and center. So fortunately, I actually got right into the head office of the Calgary Board of Education, met a wonderful woman named Leslie Robertson, and then she strategically invited the schools to a meeting, and the principals would then decide to go on the training, and then we put several of their teachers through the training. And this is the same training I took that I discovered the program in the first place. And then they come out of the training really knowing how this program is for everybody, and how those diamonds in the rough, the masses of our students in the middle, can really be impacted. So they select it. We empower them, they make the choices, the teachers sign up the students. We have a parent talk, so they set up a date, we show up, answer questions, give them as much information as possible, they sign their child up, and then the school actually buses, they have their own buses, and so they bus the students out to a facility we use right now is called Camp Chestermere, and they bus the students out there on a Thursday right at the end of the day of school, and on Saturday the parents arrive at a graduation to bring their child home, and they also get to see some of the experiences that their child had, and there's a huge learning for the parents as well, and a connection piece. So that's how we select the students and the schools. And then it's word of mouth. So right now we have schools that call us, we tell them what we need them to do to get going, and that's basically their principal going on the adult training and understanding what it is they're getting involved in, and then they get to make the choice. What was your second question?
Just curious how you decided to spread your time and money between Empowering Minds versus the other programs that you have going on. Is it becoming 90% of your time Empowering Minds, and then you may just let those other drift away, or is it important to have a variety of different things? And a variety of programs where you have an active role versus a partnership or less active role? So definitely Empowering Minds, it consumes a lot of my time. I do have an amazing husband, and he's here today, and he makes sure that he takes on a lot of responsibility at home, and which allows me to do this. And we have a great team at the office, and yes, I'm always learning because our Werklund family office is always evolving and growing and creating more structure around it, and I play a big role in that as well. But we have a fantastic team that supports all of that as well. So I'd say the foundation takes about 60% of my time, and I have a great staff that rolls that out. We currently right now are headhunting for a COO for the foundation to work with my staff. So it's juggling, yes. Did I answer that? Well, I guess I'm not answering the question that well, but how important is it to do a variety of things rather than to focus? Because you talked a little bit, your focus is on youth.
Yeah.
And then you can narrow it down and say, well, we're just going to pursue one program, or you could say we're going to do one program as our main program, but also pursue a number of other initiatives like Telespark.
Okay. Good question. So I don't believe that we there's a silver bullet with this program. And I believe that what we've discovered here with Teen Leadership Breakthrough is a real way to get to the core of students, because what I'm realizing is you can build it, and it's not build it, they will come. And so there's a lot of opportunities out there for young students, whether it's trips or clubs, but a lot of students, especially our massive students, our diamonds in the rough, it's not on their radar that it's for them. And you continually, we build things for our high-flying kids to participate in. So I really feel strongly about our Teen Leadership Breakthrough as a breakthrough, as exactly what it is. A principal described to me one day as, Deanna, after these students go through your program, they've got this big plug-in, and they're looking for a place to plug into. So no, I'm not limiting ourselves to what we want to get involved in.
what we want to participate in and support and maybe even include in our Empowering Minds umbrella are quality controlled measured programs. So we know that the investment that we're all making is truly getting those results. Is that better?
Thanks.
Okay.
Is it?
Thanks very much, everybody, for coming. I'm sure Deanna and her team will be around to speak on a more individual basis. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. As a thank you from the Calgary CFA Society, we've got a little something for Deanna. And once again, thanks everybody for coming.